I saw Black Phone 2 last night. If you're a horror fan, I really think you're gonna dig this movie. It uses the first film as a jumping off point, but it really expands on the lore, the style, and the carnage factor this time around. Years after the events of the first movie, Finney and Gwen are trying to move on from their encounter with the Grabber. But when phone calls start rolling in from the other side, and Gwen's dreams are once again haunted by the Grabber and his victims, things start to take a dark turn. Now, if you're into Scott Derrickson's other work like Sinister or The Black Phone, or even his VHS 85 segment, you're going to feel right at home here. Once again, Derrickson is leaning into that old school filmmaking style that he's becoming known for. He shot all of the dream sequences on Super 8 film, which looks incredible. That grit, grain, and texture gives all of the dream sequences this haunting realism, and they really stick with you. The first Black Phone film leaned heavily into the supernatural already, so there's nothing out of left field about that here. And as the Grabber himself says, "You of all people should know, dead is just a word." This one cranks everything up. The scares, the violence, the emotional stakes. It's obviously inspired by A Nightmare on Elm Street, but to call it a ripoff, I think would be doing a huge disservice to how much this movie actually does differently. And it still keeps the family dynamic of the first film at its core. It's also pretty cool seeing a sense of family behind the scenes as well, with Scott Derrickson's wife, Maggie Levin, serving as an executive producer and the second unit director, and his son, Atticus Derrickson, composing the score. Speaking of which, the soundtrack is very solid too. The first 2/3 or so, it's got this eerie, atmospheric vibe to it, like you're trapped in somebody else's nightmares. Then into the finale, things kick into high gear. You got heavy bass, you got pulsating synths, before ending on an 80s style synth track. For the cast, Madeline McGraw really shines. She's kind of the emotional anchor of this movie. Mason Thames brings a harder edge this time around. You can feel that part of him is still trapped in that basement from the first film. And of course we have Ethan Hawke, who here cements the Grabber as a true horror icon. There are also some great new additions, such as Damien Bashir, who some of you may know from The Bridge or The Nun or The Hateful Eight. He's one of the standouts for me, and I always appreciate seeing him. This movie also really nails something that I'm always saying we need more of: winter horror. Most of it takes place at a snowy mountain camp during a blizzard. I was afraid that they were only going to end up there during the finale, but they spend probably 90% of the movie there. The isolation and the cold give the movie its own identity. It's one of the best uses of the winter setting I've seen in a long time. And if you're into that sort of thing, we did an entire episode on winter horror movies. All in all, Black Phone 2 is absolutely a worthy successor to the first film. It's also a smart and stylish evolution of that film. I absolutely think it's worth the price of admission, especially as an October release, and I'm already thinking about going to see it again.